The Rotary Foundation has generously sponsored the creation of this tape through a Children's Opportunity Grant. If you would like to hand out this tape, you may make copies yourself or order them at this website. Would you like to improve a child's future? Communication is so important to the success of an individual and a community. When you work to build a 2- or 3-year-old child's communication skills today, you are building a better tomorrow. All you need is your enthusiasm, combined with this short tape, to bring Hear and Say reading to your community. It's simple. Anyone can do it. Parents, grandparents, child care workers, or caring volunteers can help children learn. Keep in mind that the greatest benefit comes from daily reading. Children are never too young or too old for books and reading. Two- and 3-year-olds are hungry to learn. They learn by watching and talking with others. It's the perfect age to teach language skills and to make reading fun. Hear and Say reading helps adults and children create stories together. Before we start, here are some helpful hints. Choose storybooks that have interesting pictures. Save rhyme and word books for another time, since they don't work very well with this program. Remember, it's perfectly normal for children to have favorite books they read over and over. This video teaches the Hear and Say reading method. The tips in Part 1 encourage your child to name pictures and talk about the story. In Part 2, children talk more. This lets them practice and strengthen their language skills. Since Part 2 builds on Part 1, it's important to allow time in between to build these skills. We recommend that you practice for 2 or 3 weeks before moving on to Part 2. Let's compare two reading styles.
Squirrel got a big Valentine in the mail. It said, "Dear Squirrel, Happy Valentine's Day."
In this example, the child is read to, not reading. He spoke very little, and the parent did the storytelling.
They're girls.
They're little girls, and what is that one?
That's a big boy.
That's a big boy.
In this case, the parent encouraged her child to join in. This is the Hear and Say method. You want to encourage your child to name pictures in the storybook and to say something further about them. These are what questions. What questions encourage your child to speak? What questions improve language skills? Listen to these what questions.
What's that? In his birthday hat. Look at that. What's that? A tree. And what's that? A house.
What questions are more effective than asking your child to point, since pointing does not require any talking from your child? Watch the difference in these examples.
Happy? Does he look happy? Yeah. Is it an animal? What kind of animal is it? Is it green?
Remember, you can point, just don't ask your child to point to objects. Encourage them to speak. As you can see, what questions encourage your child to talk, more than pointing or yes or no questions. When your child answers the first what question, build on it with more questions about the picture. Ask a question about its shape, its color, or its parts. Any question that asks about the picture is good. Here are some examples of parents asking their children questions after the child has labeled the picture.
School bus? Who goes in a school bus every day? Andy, your brother.
In his birthday hat.
Birthday hat.
Yep, his birthday hat. Have you had a birthday? Yep.
Repeat what your child says. This provides encouragement and lets your child know when he or she is correct.
Bugs everywhere.
Bugs are everywhere. This little sign says ant farm, and somebody must have dropped the ant farm, and there are bugs everywhere.
Sometimes your child will not be able to answer your question. This gives you a chance to teach your child a new word or answer. Often your child will repeat what you have just said.
What does he have all over his body? They look like tattoos. Do you think they are? Or stamps?
Praise and encourage your child. There are many different ways to provide feedback and praise when your child says something about the book.
Can you see school bus?
Yeah.
That? What is that? Is that a?
School bus.
Yay! That was good.
Dad.
School bus. And who is that?
Dad.
That's the driver. Can you say driver? Driver. Good job.
At this age, it is not important to read all of the words or talk about every picture on the page. Follow your child's interest. Children learn very quickly when they are learning about the things that they like. When your child points to a picture or begins to talk about part of a page, follow their interest, as these parents do.
What's her name?
What do you think her name is?
House.
Big houses or small houses?
Big house.
Big houses.
Oh no, look.
Oh, what happened? What happened?
Look. It broke.
It broke?
Yeah.
What broke?
The house broke.
The most important thing to remember is to make reading fun for you and your child. Children enjoy talking about what they see in picture books. Try making it a game by taking turns reading. If your child seems to be getting tired, read a few pages without questions, or take a break from story time. Here are the important things to remember. Ask lots of what questions. Follow up your child's words with more questions about the picture, such as color, shape, or use. Repeat what your child says to let them know when they are right. When your child doesn't have an answer, give one and let him or her repeat it. Praise and encourage your child. Talk about things your child is interested in. You don't need to read all of the words in the book. Have fun. This ends part 1 of this video. Practice with your child for at least 2 weeks. Try to read 5 to 10 minutes every day if you can. Then move on to part 2. Keep reading and have fun.